Gold has just crossed a major milestone that very well could change the global financial order. I'll explain how and why in this video as we explore. A new report has just been released that indicates what gold has done, overtaking treasuries as the top global reserve asset. Now, this is a very important thing, especially if you've been paying attention to this channel and what the Bank of International Settlements did back in April of 2019. But even more importantly, about how it affects the dollar, or how the dollar is losing its effect. I'll get into that in a moment. I'm going to be referencing a piece here from Michael Mahere about, in January, what the World Gold Council data has indicated that gold had replaced the U.S. Treasuries as the world's top reserve asset. A report that has been released by the European Central Bank this week has confirmed that data. So the World Gold Council, as we know, is a biased organization, just as the Silver Institute is a biased organization. And they're biased towards the metals that they report on. So I think that's a pretty fair assumption. But the European Central Bank, they're certainly not biased towards gold, no way, shape, or form. But according to the European Central Bank, as of the end of 2025, gold accounted for 27% of central bank reserve assets. That was 7% up from a year earlier. That's pretty amazing. But you know what? They are doing what you and I have been doing, holding and stacking physical gold. My friends, and some of the metals are there to help you become your own central bank by elevating your wealth to that end. Check them out. Website is in the description below. Now, according to the European Central Bank, the share of treasuries in the central bank reserves fell from 25% to 22%. And that could be accumulating or addressing or part of the assisting a bond crisis that could be coming. We'll see. The share of euro-denominated assets remains steady at 15%. Despite the drop in treasury holdings, the dollar remains the primary reserve asset with dollar-denominated assets, accounting for 42% of global reserves. Now, I think that's a different number than the number we've been hearing about, 58% of all reserves and transactions. I think that is the influence overall of the dollar around the world, and that is more than 42%. But that share is slowly shrinking. In other words, the dollar is dying a slow death, a very slow death. That's de-dollarization. But it's also losing value month over month, year over year. That's inflation. So the dollar is still money, but it is an unsound version of money. It's bad money. This is good money. And even though the price has come down a bit from its January high, that was just it. It was a bubble. And we're starting to realize that, gold is much more influential, much more profound than its influence around the world than we've seen in the past 30 years. Now, despite that drop in treasury holdings, the dollar is still strong, and the Financial Times has asserted that this is part of a broader global de-dollarization effort underway. The shifting composition of reserve assets, highly liquid holdings that central banks use to support their currencies, meet international payment obligations and provide liquidity in times of financial turmoil. It reflects an attempt by many countries to seek alternatives to the U.S. dollars, the world's de facto reserve currency. The Times noted that de-dollarization has accelerated since 2022 when the U.S. and its Western allies aggressively sanctioned Russia and effectively locked it out of the global SWIFT payment system after the invasion of Ukraine. This weaponization of the dollar has made some countries wary of holding dollar-denominated assets. European Central Bank President Christine Lagarde said, "Geopolitical tensions continue to drive strong central bank demand for gold." The pace of central bank purchases moderated in 2025, but remained far above the recent historic average. Official full-year buying came in at 863.3 tons. That was down 21% year on year, charting the lowest level since 2021. However, while central bank gold purchases declined last year, they remained well above the 2010 through 2021 annual average of 473 tons. So to put that in context, central bank gold reserves increased by an average of just 473 tons annually between 2010 and 2021. But last year was the fourth largest expansion of central bank gold reserves on record. That is big news. The all-time high was set in 2022, and that was 1,136 tons. It was the highest level of net purchases on record dating back to 1950, including since the suspension of the dollar convertibility into gold in August of 1971. According to the Financial Times, central banks globally hold 36,000 tons of gold. That is nearly as much as the peak of the Bretton Woods era when the dollar was tied to gold. That amount was 38,000 tons. So I tell you what, this is a good time to be bullish on gold, as the prices have been soaring like an eagle. And even now, sometimes you get into a bear market and the price is coming down off their highs. Well, it's still doing very, very well. Gold is the ultimate stable store of wealth. In fact, I encourage all silver stackers to get you a little bit of gold as well. The weaponization of the dollar is just one factor driving the de-dollarization trend. Many countries are becoming wary of the U.S. fiscal situation. I don't blame them. United States citizens should also be wary of the United States fiscal situation. The national debt has surged to well over $39 trillion and has eclipsed 100% of the gross domestic product. At some point, people stop loaning their drunk uncle money. That's right, but we keep doing it through taxation and inflation. All of that makes the debt cheaper, and it makes us less wealthy. This is why we preserve our wealth with gold. And the dollar doesn't have to lose its reserve status for de-dollarization to become a significant problem for the United States, because it depends on the global demand for dollars to underpin its massive government. The only reason Uncle Sam can borrow, spend, and run massive budget deficits to the extent that it does is the dollar's role as the world's reserve currency. That's it. It creates a built-in global demand for dollars and dollar-denominated assets. This absorbs the Federal Reserve's money creation and helps maintain dollar strength despite the Federal Reserve's inflationary policies. And that was really profound during the first 3 rounds of quantitative easing, and back between 2008 and 2009 through 2012. A lot of those dollars went overseas into Europe and made up much larger versions of the assets. Now, about 2002, the dollar made up 72% of reserve assets, as well as the amount of money flowing internationally for exchanges and between nations. Now it's down to about 58%. And for central bank reserves, like we said, it's about 42%, according to this report. If the world needs fewer dollars, they will begin to return the U.S. currency, causing a dollar glut. This will increase inflationary pressure domestically as the value of the U.S. currency further depreciates. In a worst-case scenario, the dollar could collapse completely, leading to hyperinflation. Now, I don't think that's going to happen. That's a very extreme circumstance. In fact, that's one of the reasons why I think Trump wants a weaker dollar, so the other currencies can be competitive, and the dollars, can be utilized over there, and they can take it in. But there's strategies behind it all for a strengthened dollar, for a weaker dollar. But notwithstanding, they want to make it so that they don't take it back in and flood the United States with those dollars. But of course, the Federal Reserve could easily take some of those dollars and just burn them or do away with them, but they have to get something for it. And so that's why it becomes a problem. And we're continuing quantitative easing at some level already yet again. Whenever there was tightening, the dollar supply only went down a little bit for the massive dollar printing and digitization that occurred during COVID. And here we are. And now the dollar has essentially is losing, and now gold is back on top of the top reserve asset of central banks around the world. And folks, I think this Bank of International Settlement saw this coming back in April of 2019 when they made gold a tier 1 asset, putting it equal to and on par with the dollar. That's right. I remind folks of that every so often when I talk about gold, because that's so important. That was a pivotal moment, in my view, as part of the Basel III Accords. But really, we didn't need that designation for us to understand that gold really is the top reserve. There's nothing else like it that has been money for thousands upon thousands of years. Central banks use it as money between the central banks. It really is a monetary metal in every sense of the word. As a commodity, it certainly is. Central banks holding it and using it and empowering themselves with it as a top reserve asset. Boom. It's beating the dollar right now. This is an amazing thing that gold has done. So let me know what your thoughts are about this news. I strive to bring you the latest news and analysis in the world of precious metals. If you enjoy what I do here, I hope you will consider pressing that thumbs up button. It does help the algorithm. And maybe hype the video if you're on a mobile device. And share it on other social media platforms. And also, if you're new here, I hope you will consider subscribing. So a multitude of gratitude to you all.